Welcome to a deep dive that's sure to make you look twice at those humble vending machines we're talking about starting a vending machine business right here in Australia.
And let me tell you, the information you've gathered for this, it's not just about snacks. It's a whole business strategy session hidden in plain sight.
Seriously, I was going through the articles and notes and I was blown away by the level of detail. It's way more than just spare change and a sugar rush.
You've got that right. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry globally, and Australia is really finding its own unique flavor within that.
That's what's got me so intrigued. This isn't just a cookie-cutter business model. It's got that Aussie entrepreneurial spirit woven right through it. So let's unwrap it, shall we? What's the first thing someone needs to know about diving into vending machines down under?
Well, like any good venture, it starts with understanding the landscape, right? Your source material calls it identifying demand, which sounds very official.
A bit textbooky, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But picture this. You're not just looking at a map. You're pounding the pavement in, say, Sydney, walking into those bustling office buildings.
Yeah.
And you're not just observing, you're feeling the vibe.
Okay, I'm getting a feel for this. So instead of just saying, is there a need for a vending machine here? Oh, I'm tapping into something more specific.
Exactly. It's about asking yourself, what are these people craving at 3 p.m. when that afternoon slump hits? Are they reaching for a sugary energy drink, or are they more health conscious, looking for a fresh juice or a protein bar?
So it's like being a vending machine anthropologist almost. You're studying the habits and desires of your potential customers.
Exactly. And your source really emphasizes how those desires, those preferences, they shift and change depending on where you are in Australia. A beachside kiosk in Cairns is going to have a totally different clientele than a university campus in Melbourne.
Okay, so location is key, but it's not just about finding a vacant corner. It's about understanding the people who inhabit that space.
You got it. Imagine you've got this prime spot, staked out your vending machine, stocked with healthy snacks, maybe some artisan iced teas, perfectly positioned to greet yoga enthusiasts, leaving a studio in Bondi. Talk about a recipe for success.
Okay, that's a winning combo right there. You've got the right product in the right place at the right time, but I have a feeling there's more to securing those prime locations than just showing up with a vending machine and a smile.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. And this is where things get, well, a bit more official again. Your source material is very clear on this point. You've got to have those location agreements nailed down solid.
Because the last thing you want is some legal drama derailing your vending machine dreams.
Exactly. A well-drafted contract outlining the terms of the placement, maybe some profit-sharing details if that's part of the deal, the duration of the agreement. It protects both you and the location owner. It's about building trust and transparency right from the get-go.
Smart. So we've tackled the where of setting up shop, but what about the heart of the operation? Those vending machines themselves. I'd imagine there's more to it than just finding any old metal box with a coin slot these days.
Oh, you're in for a treat with this part. Think of it like choosing a car. You've got your new models, your used options, and even the possibility of leasing. Each comes with its own set of considerations, just like your source lays out.
And I'm guessing those considerations go beyond just the sticker price, right?
Absolutely. A brand spanking new machine, it might have all the latest bells and whistles, but it could drain your budget faster than a pack of Tim Tams at a cricket match.
And speaking of bells and whistles, I have a feeling those vending machine features have gotten pretty high-tech these days.
Oh, absolutely. Your source really hammers home the importance of those modern touches, like cashless payment systems. In a tech-savvy nation like Australia, you've got to keep up with the times. Imagine the frustration of a customer with an empty wallet, standing in front of a machine that only takes coins.
Talk about a missed opportunity. So it's about creating that seamless customer experience, from product selection to payment.
Precisely. And that extends to another feature your source highlights: remote monitoring. Imagine this. You get a notification on your phone that your best-selling iced coffee has sold out in your Melbourne CBD machine.
You could restock it before the morning rush hits, keeping those caffeine-deprived office workers happy and your profits flowing.
Now you're thinking like a vending machine mogul. It's not just about providing a service, it's about optimizing every step of the way. It's like being a kid in a candy store, but instead of just filling your pockets, you're curating the ultimate Aussie snack selection. This is where your entrepreneurial vision really takes shape.
Okay, so we're talking Tim Tams and shapes. Those are a given. But what about those gourmet, locally made jerky brands or those fancy artisan crackers I've seen popping up everywhere?
Exactly. Your source talks about building those relationships with local suppliers. It's not just about getting the best price, it's about becoming a curator, understanding what makes each area's taste buds tick.
So instead of just being a vending machine operator, I'm like a purveyor of fine Aussie snacks. I like it. But that takes us back to our earlier point about market research. The snacks that fly off the shelves at a surf shop in Byron Bay are probably not the same ones that are going to be a hit with university students in Canberra.
That's spot on. Are you catering to health-conscious hikers in Tasmania? Or tradies grabbing a quick bite on a construction site in Perth?
It's like we're piecing together a puzzle, isn't it? Location, customer base, product selection, they all fit together to create that vending machine magic. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, or maybe I should say the kangaroo in the outback. How do we make sure this vending venture is financially viable?
That's the million-dollar question, and luckily your source provides a very clear breakdown of the costs involved in starting and running a vending machine business right here in Australia.
Okay, so let's break it down for our listeners who are already mentally scouting out locations. What kind of investment are we talking about to get those vending machines stocked and ready to go?
Your source divides it into two main categories, those initial costs and those ongoing expenses. Your initial investment is where those big decisions about new, used, or leased machines come into play. That choice alone can significantly impact how much you're shelling out up front.
Right, a brand new, top-of-the-line machine with all the bells and whistles is going to cost a pretty penny compared to a more, shall we say, experienced model.
Exactly. But there's that trade-off. A shiny new machine might be more appealing to customers and potentially require less maintenance in the long run.
It's that age-old dilemma. Buy new or save a few dollars and go for the pre-loved option. And don't forget about the cost of stocking those machines. Are you going for those gourmet organic juices or more budget-friendly options? Those decisions about your product lineup, they have a direct impact on your bottom line from day one.
Absolutely. And then there are the costs you might not think about right away, those hidden costs.
Like what? Give us an example.
Licensing fees. And it's not just one generic fee. It can vary depending on your location and what you're selling. Some areas have different regulations for food versus beverages, and some products might require specific permits. It's all about being in the know.
So we've got those upfront costs, the machines, the stock, the licenses, all those things you need to get the ball rolling. Now let's dive into those ongoing expenses. What do vending machine owners need to budget for regularly? What about once the machine is up and running?
This is where things get interesting and where strategic thinking really comes into play. Your source really highlights the importance of regular maintenance as a key expense. And it's not just about wiping down the front of the machine, it's about keeping those internal components clean and functioning smoothly.
Right. A jammed coin slot or a malfunctioning temperature control can cost you sales and damage your reputation. No one wants to buy a melted chocolate bar or a lukewarm soda.
Precisely. And let's not forget about restocking. Remember those supplier relationships we talked about? This is where they become crucial, not just for securing those unique products, but also for negotiating favorable pricing.
Bulk buying power. I'm starting to feel like a vending machine tycoon already. But even with the best prices, those restocking costs can add up, especially as your business starts to grow and you've got multiple machines to keep filled.
Absolutely. And another ongoing expense that can trip up a lot of first-time vending machine operators is location fees. You've snagged that prime spot in a bustling office building or that busy train station, but that visibility often comes at a price.
It's like paying rent for prime real estate, but in this case, it's the real estate of snacks.
Exactly. And then, of course, there are those smaller but still important expenses like electricity to keep those machines running, internet access for those fancy remote monitoring systems we talked about, and potentially even insurance to protect your investment.
Okay, so we've covered the initial investments, the machines, the stock, the licenses, and then those ongoing costs for maintenance, restocking, location fees, utilities. It all adds up. But here's the million-dollar question, or maybe I should say the million-dollar Tim Tam question. How do vending machine businesses actually generate revenue and, more importantly, profit?
At its core, it's a pretty straightforward model. You purchase products at a certain cost, you sell them at a markup, and the difference. That's your profit. But as your source points out, the real art is in optimizing those profit margins.
So it's not just about selling a lot of snacks. It's about selling the right snacks at the right price to make sure those profits are rolling in.
You got it. And that's where all those key elements we've been discussing, location, product selection, pricing strategy, they all come together. A well-placed vending machine, stocked with a curated selection of in-demand products, priced strategically, is going to generate far more profit than a machine tucked away in a low-visibility spot with a random assortment of items.
It's about creating a customer experience that keeps them coming back for more, while also making sure your business decisions behind the scenes are just as smart.
Now you're talking. Your source highlights a few clever strategies for doing just that. Think about it. Even the way you arrange the products in your machine can influence those purchasing decisions. Placing those impulse buy items like your chocolate bars or your mints right at eye level, that can make a big difference in your bottom line.
It's like those strategically placed sweets at the checkout counter they get you every time.
Exactly. It's all about understanding a little bit of consumer psychology and nudging those customers in the right direction. And speaking of nudging, your source briefly mentioned something that caught my eye, the franchise model. Have you ever thought about that as an option?
A franchise. That's an interesting thought. I'll admit, the idea of expanding my vending machine empire without having to manage every single machine myself is appealing, but I also imagine it comes with its own set of complexities.
You're absolutely right. Franchising, in essence, is granting someone the right to use your business model and your brand in exchange for a fee or a percentage of their profits.
So it's not just about finding someone willing to pay a fee to use your brand, it's about having a solid foundation in place first.
Exactly. Your source really stresses the importance of having that strong brand identity, a proven business model, and robust support systems in place before even thinking about franchising. You need to be confident in your ability to replicate your success and provide adequate support to your franchisees.
It's like sharing a recipe. You wouldn't give it to someone until you've perfected it and you're confident they can achieve those same delicious results.
I like that analogy, and you're exactly right. Franchising requires a significant investment of time, resources, and let's not forget the legal expertise to set up properly. It's not a shortcut to success. It's a different path altogether.
So it's a potential avenue for growth, but one that shouldn't be entered into lightly. There's a lot to think about before taking that leap. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked market research, finding those prime vending machine locations, choosing the right equipment, stocking those machines with irresistible treats, and even crunched some numbers on costs and potential revenue streams. Is there anything else a budding vending machine entrepreneur needs to know before they take the plunge?
You've been a fantastic student. You've really absorbed a lot of information. But there are a few more crucial aspects that your source highlights those things that could really make or break a vending machine business in the long run. And it's about more than just the practicalities. It's about adopting the right mindset.
Okay, so we've gone through all the nuts and bolts of setting up a vending machine business, but what about the human element? What are those intangible qualities that make a vending machine entrepreneur truly successful?
You're right on the money. It's not just about the machines. It's about the mindset. And your source really emphasizes this. The most successful vending machine entrepreneurs out there, they share some key traits.
All right, spill the beans. What are these secret ingredients to vending machine success?
Number one on the list, adaptability. The world of vending, it's not a static thing. New products pop up, trends change, technology advances. The entrepreneurs who can roll with those punches, they're the ones who stay ahead of the game.
So it's not enough to just find a winning formula and stick with it forever. You've got to be ready to switch gears when needed.
Exactly. It's about staying informed, keeping your finger on a pulse of the market. Are gluten-free snacks suddenly all the rage? Is there a new energy drink everyone's buzzing about? You've got to be ready to pivot.
It's like being a vending machine chameleon, blending in with the ever-changing tastes and trends of the Australian market.
I like that. And speaking of staying ahead of the curve, your source brought up something that's often overlooked: regulations. It might not be the most glamorous part of the business, but they're crucial.
Right, because no amount of entrepreneurial spirit is going to save you from a visit from the health inspector if your machine isn't up to code.
Exactly. And those regulations, they can vary from state to state, even council to council. So it's all about doing your homework, understanding those specific requirements in your area.
Okay, so we've got adaptability and a solid understanding of the rules of the game. What else is in the vending machine entrepreneur's toolkit?
This one might seem obvious, but it's amazing how often it's overlooked: meticulous maintenance. I'm talking about keeping those machines spotless, inside and out, making sure everything is stored properly, adhering to those food safety standards.
Right, because a dusty machine with questionable-looking snacks isn't exactly going to attract a loyal customer base.
Exactly. And this goes beyond just basic cleaning. Your source highlights the importance of what they call preventative maintenance.
So we're not just talking about wiping down the surfaces, we're talking about those under the hood checks and balances.
That's it. It's like taking your car in for a regular service. You're more likely to catch those minor issues before they turn into major and expensive problems down the line.
A well-maintained vending machine is a happy vending machine. And a happy vending machine means happy customers and a healthy bottom line. Speaking of which, your source touched on something I found surprising: data analysis. I didn't picture spreadsheets and graphs when I envisioned myself as a vending machine entrepreneur.
It might not be the first thing that comes to mind, but those modern vending machines, with their cashless payment systems and remote monitoring capabilities, they're generating a goldmine of data.
So we're talking about more than just counting coins at the end of the day. What kind of insights can we glean from this data?
Imagine being able to see, in real time, which products are your best sellers, which ones are just sitting there gathering dust, even what times of day your machines are busiest. That's invaluable information.
It's like having a customer feedback form built right into the machine.
Exactly. And the best part is you don't need a degree in data science to decipher it all. There are plenty of user-friendly tools and platforms that can help you make sense of those numbers and turn them into actionable insights.
So we're not just vending machine operators, we're data analysts, we're trend spotters, we're masters of our own little snack-filled domains.
Now you're getting it. It's about taking that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive to succeed, and applying it to every aspect of the business.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I feel like we've gone from popping coins in a slot to strategizing like seasoned business owners.
And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? This seemingly simple business model, it's actually full of opportunities for creativity, innovation, and good old-fashioned hard work.
Exactly. It's a fantastic reminder that sometimes the most unexpected ventures can be the most rewarding. And who knows, maybe the next time I'm craving a late-night snack, I'll be thanking a savvy vending machine entrepreneur like yourself for satisfying my cravings.
Well, I'll be sure to stock my machines accordingly.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of Australian vending machine businesses. Remember, the opportunity is out there, and it's waiting for those who are willing to grab a hold and take it for a spin.